Good morning, my name's Leslie, I'm from Indigenous UK Weather. Today is the 20th of June and I'm really excited because it's summer solstice, England are playing tonight, and I'm about to drive down to Kent to see David King from Weather Without Technology. David is the leading authority in nature-based forecasting. Each day Dave and I will go and walk out in nature and see what we can see and what nature is preparing for and how we can apply that to a sensible forecast for 90 to 180 days time. So once a month we'll do this together. Dave will come to me in Dorset or I will go and see him in Kent as I am today. And we were discussing how we could add the most value to David's long-standing fans, and I figured why not bring you guys with us and do a little YouTube video. So we've never done anything like this before. It certainly won't be anything fancy or flashy, but we hope you enjoy it. We hope to capture enough high quality footage for you guys to be able to see some of the things that we're seeing and enjoy it from your living rooms or wherever you are. So yes, come along on this journey, and if you enjoy it, make sure you subscribe, like, use the comment features to give us feedback, and if this is something that is enjoyed, we will certainly do it more often. Thank you so much.
Good morning everybody, my name is David. You may have seen me on this morning. They call me the weather guru, but all I do is just try and tell them what the weather's going to be in the future. I'm not interested in what yesterday's weather was, I'm just interested in the advance. Now, I've handed my original website, Weather Without Technology, onto the girl behind the camera, which is Leslie, and she's got a beautiful website called indigenousukweather.com. I'll recommend everybody goes and looks at it. Today I live here in the northwest corner of Kent, some 6 miles south of Clackett's Lane service station. The temperature now is 20 degrees, a light easterly breeze, and it's really beautiful. As you can see, it's quite peaceful, quite rural around here. As far as the eye can see is my workshop. I say workshop because I walk around about 1,500 acres, hence I learn what I put on my website, and sometimes I give advice to Leslie to put on her website. Today I will endeavour to show you a few, because there's so many, but we will endeavour to show you a few of the plants that grow, what to do, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the dangerous buggers like the giant hogweed. But I'll also counterbalance that with the medicinal ones too, and they will be included in this short video. So enjoy. The soil here is hard clay called marl clay. Marl, M-A-R-L. It makes hard bricks, and believe you me, we've had no rain here. We've had 80 millimetres of rain this month, so it's relatively dry and the ground is really rock hard. But you can't win them all, and there you are. The prominent trees around here are oak. If you live in Kent, the oak trees in the past used to provide the dockyards at Woolwich and Greenwich and Chatham with wood for the wooden warships, which is why we've got so many oak trees around here. Enjoy yourselves. I hope I may have introduced some of you to the pleasures of walking the countryside, and it is all for free. In the almanac at the very front of the book, it tells you how to determine the age of a hedgerow. Now, from here there's a little red post 30 metres up the road, and the way you do it is to measure 30 metres and then count the number of hardwoods there are in that stretch of 30 metres. So here we go. We'll start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the last one there is 9. Now we've got 9 hardwoods, which multiplied by 100, and I've amended that rule to add 30. So that means that row of hedgerow is approximately 930 years old. Right, here we have a plant called a black bryony. These are the little berries, they're just beginning to come. and they will go from green to orange to red. And they will look very pretty in the autumn when we come back again. A major food source for many, many birds. Black bryony. Don't try and eat them, they are poisonous. And the warning is, if you don't know what it is, keep it away from your gob, because you'll get a bellyache. But this is a vital, you'll see these everywhere along the country lanes. Now, there's some bigger ones growing there. There you see how they grow. There. Black bryony berries. Now, below that, here we have, this is a little yellow flower normally. These are called wood avens. Very popular, they grow everywhere. And the heads and the leaves are edible in salads. They don't taste very nice, but they're all right if you're hungry. So that's called wood avens.
Okay.
Right, this little plant here is called a nipplewort. It'll grow to about this high, and when it dries out, it makes a wonderful plant for putting it home all through the winter. It doesn't need water, it'll sit in the vase, and it's very pretty. But while we're there, we got a stick insect in the middle of the spit. That's called a spit insect here. And that will sit there, and that'll be food for the birds as well. So that's called a nipplewort plant. Here we have a little plant called cleavers. A lot of people will call it goosegrass, because as you can see, it sticks to my hand. But it grows up and just clings to all the hedgerows, and as you can see, it sticks to your arm. Won't hurt you, but it gives a little whitish flower later on. That's cleavers. Wayfarer plant. This is normally, because we've been so dry here, it's dried out, but it's normally a white flower, and all these seeds will turn first to red and then to black berries. A vital food source for the winter for the birds. That's called the wayfarer tree. There. Brilliant. So you can tell just from that little branch there what the winter's going to be, because nature's working 180 days ahead. There's a lot of food there. That is a warning to you that we've got a rough old winter coming. We have a meadow sweet plant. Now, further down there'll be one with the flowers, but I'll tell you now, when these flowers come out, you pick the creamy flowers, and you pick a pound of creamy flowers and drop them into a litre of just off boiling water and give it a stir, and you stir it till it cools, not all the time, and when it cools you give it another stir, and then you strain it. And in your glass, any guesses to what we've got? Well, I will tell you, you've got pure aspirin. Absolutely. So there you are, you see, a medicinal plant, a member of the hogweed family. Normally this would be a mass of white, but because it's been so dry, we have one here. This is a standard ordinary hogweed, and all these heads will dry and become seeds. Again, you can see how severe the winter is going to be, because there are masses of seeds to come there. Later on, I will show the difference between this and a giant hogweed. This is poisonous. Do not eat under any circumstance. But when we get to the giant hogweed, that's a different story altogether. Here we have a hedge bindweed. A lot of gardeners love this, they pull it up, but it is quite a pretty little plant. It attracts lots and lots of insects. Every now and then you'll see a butterfly, but it's a sad year for butterflies this year. But that's called a hedge bindweed. There's another one which sits on the ground, same size, that is called a giant hogweed, a giant bindweed. And there's a very small one that sits in the grass that's got pink and white, half the size of that, and that's called a meadow bindweed.
Okay, let me just get the streaming shot.
Right, a couple of hundreds up the road I showed you how to date a hedge, and I said the other side of that 900-year-old hedge was a minimum 2,000-year-old natural stream spring, and here it is. It never dries up because it comes from 1,500 yards to the east. There is a natural spring. While we're here, this white plant growing out is a hemlock water droplet. Again, deadly poisonous. Hemlock family, don't touch it, don't eat it, but it grows on damp, wet soil. Here we go, sloe gin makers, please note, it's a bit patchy this year. These are sloes. Sloes are the fruit of the whitethorn tree. Now the whitethorn tree is the white blossom you see around Easter in all the hedgerows. These are sloes. They will go purple, blue, and they will have a bloom which is natural yeast when they're ready to be picked in September. You put them into a jar or a bottle with some sugar, cover them in gin, stick them under the stairs, and Christmas Eve you bring it out, strain it out, and you've got 60% proof sloe gin. This is a white poplar tree. It is unusual because on one side of the leaf it is green and on the other side it is white. Hence the name. Well, it's a very light grey, but when the wind blows, there, you've got a white tree. Looks very pretty. When the wind blows, you've got two colours, green and white. That is a white poplar tree. These, I showed you a meadowsweet. Now these are the flowers of the meadowsweet. They're quite fluffy and quite light.
Oh, they're like clouds. They're
Yes.
like little land clouds.
There's no weight to them at all. They're not unsimilar to elderberry flowers, and you treat them the same. Hot water, and there you have your aspirin. Look at the rose hips that they're leaving for the winter. It's been a wonderful year for the dog roses, the briar roses and the burnet roses this year, and they're leaving lots and lots of hips. And here we have beautiful little dog roses again. Again, look at all the hips they're leaving. This is nature telling you, laying in food for the birds for the winter. There, nature tells you what the weather's coming. Last year we had hardly any rose hips, and it was the mildest winter. This little plant here is called a hedge woundwort. Why is it called a woundwort? In olden times, when the knights got chopped about with swords, this is a very special leaf. There's an antiseptic, antihistamine oil inside, and you would put that on top of the wound and then cover it with another 6 leaves, and in a week's time, don't touch it, they would fall off and the wound would be healing. Hence the name woundwort. There are 4 varieties, a hedge woundwort, a marsh woundwort, a common woundwort, and I forget the name of the other one. But this, like so many things, has got special properties in the oil within the leaf.
Wow.
So you can see how nature looks after his own and gives us a Boots pharmacy for free.